I'd like to call the planning board meeting to order. Before we start, and I know I'd like to extend from the planning board our condolences to the Tarzinski family for the loss of Bob. He was definitely an asset to the planning board, he was a friend, and just a great guy. So let's just take a second and remember Bob. Hey folks, grab your voting number tonight. And we need to pick a co-chairman because Bob was our co-chairman. Anyone want to volunteer or nominate someone?
It's basically acting spot until the first of the year, and then obviously.
Anyone? Anyone want to volunteer? I mean, I'm usually at all the meetings, but only be if I wasn't here. And I know anything can happen. We gotta have a co-chairman, so. Dave, are you there?
I'm here, yes.
Would you be interested in taking co-chairman till the first of the year, Dave?
Yeah, I can do that. I'd be willing to do that. It's big shoes to fill in Bob's absence, but yeah, I'd be willing to do that.
I need a second. Second, Norm, all in favor? Aye. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, all board members.
First on our agenda is to approve our minutes from last meeting.
Motion to approve.
Motion by, who second? Sandy. Sandy second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Next is to approve our liens voucher. So moved by Brad. Second by Tim. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, on our referrals, we really don't have anything. Communications, town board and architectural review board received and filed.
You guys also got my email from me because they came late. You can just go to the zoning board. Those minutes were sent to you electronically if you want.
Yes.
Those are also in your.
Yep, the zoning board received and filed. And on the long range planning, right, Jen, we got the long range thing was done and sent off to the town.
Yeah, the design standards.
The design standards, and we're just waiting to hear back from the town. They're adopted. Which was, that board did a pile of work. It was a pile of work for that.
So they were adopted.
Well, they were adopted.
Yeah, we adopted.
Question
Oh,
about that, doesn't the planning board get to take a pass on that?
We did. We did. Long time ago. We gave a bunch of notes on it.
Yeah.
That actually, it's finally the planning board put it in there.
Okay,
It was
yeah.
received and filed on it.
And, Norm, it wasn't a law, so it really didn't have to get back to us.
Back
again
and forth,
before the town board.
You guys actually spent a good hour with it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's back in like March.
So,
Tell me to get
Come
over.
on, Norm.
So our January 1 will new copies get printed and distributed.
Yeah, I understand. They went to updated pictures, which were all Grand Island pictures, which was good. And that's gonna be in part of the food. So, yeah, it's a long time coming. Great job, everybody.
So we'll get those distributed as soon as they're made available. We'll get copies.
So that did you replace the,
It will, yeah, we'll replace.
I don't think there was.
Can you guys like email it to me? You can just get a hook up on it. You have it on
And see if we get it. Yeah, right now, I didn't even know the status, but we said something, so.
Yeah.
I kind of knows to myself to look into it.
So did we eliminate north, central, south, and it's all just business district now? Okay, well, beyond that, Brad, it's also business in general. So if it's in a hamlet, if it's in an industrial park, the design center is now encompassed. Okay, where they didn't before. You remember like
Only the most.
we're kind of like Fury Road and right. Remember that one business on Long Road that expanded, and we talked about landscaping, and we couldn't really. They said, well, we're not bound to the design standards because we're not in the business district. Right now, it's everybody. Okay.
does that impact the zoning laws then?
In what way?
Are the north, central, and south
Well,
spelled
those
out?
still exist, you know, as far
Right,
as
so
allowable
zoning
uses
district
and all that.
allowable uses, Performance standards apply to all.
Yeah, all business in general.
Some of the old
All
standards,
commercial.
Norm, were sectional,
All business.
like only certain things were done in the north and south and different in central, so we just made it all. Open up, the
Mhm.
long range committee there made it all one thing.
But I think the confusion there is zoning. So the zoning is still the same on all
Same.
those,
Right.
but this is more umbrella, overreaching on all, commercial business type things now instead of just north south.
I think the big thing, right, Jen, was the trees and the curbing and striping the parking lot, not like really big
Yeah.
money issues.
We looked at most of it. I mean, yeah, there was nothing huge, just some small things and discussions that had to be had. That, Brad, that's in last week's, agenda packet in the town. But I'm sure you'll get a hold of it, and residential will be next, so that's what we want.
Yeah, it is an extra, and that should be an interesting trip.
And the way this is written, is it all a should, not a shall?
It's a should. It's a standard, and it's a policy, but it's not a law.
The guideline,
It's a guideline, correct.
and probably took the island out on the entrance.
Is that come out?
One of the big issues that we always ignore.
The island,
Driving the
split
driveway?
driveway,
That was taken out.
Yeah, the islands?
yeah.
Yeah, that was taken out.
It's an issue because a lot of the lots in Boulevard are on the main road. Yeah, you're right, I think it's skewed, it's a 45-mile road, to stop a car dead to go around, it's kind of really not, wise, you know?
Well, the thing is, you can apply it to a large multi-tenant, example like Tops, has litter island, there's turn lanes, everything. So put it in a single use facility or a small facility doesn't make sense. So that, that's obviously, it almost kind of like a road situation coming into it, then you want to evaluate it, if it's just a straight up, hey, it's just our driveway, it's, yeah, what's the point?
And if it was another Tops, we'd probably talk about it tonight.
Right,
You guys could probably apply it to a large curb cut, if you feel it's appropriate. You guys can recommend. it.
Good.
You're welcome to-
How does this get put out to businesses that want to develop?
Well, I was gonna say, when you
And the checklist?
get your information or your checklist, you can put out performance standards.
It's on the last
You know, they're
checklist, Norm.
incumbent of them to be aware of, it's no, we make a change in zoning, do we notify every single person that, hey, it's 6 more cars or whatever, no, it's, you shall comply with the zone. Or applicable documents, so it's incumbent on them, we try to, when somebody inquires, we go, hey, there's new. The town website will have new ones that, it says if you match the performance standards, well, if they go to the town website and get performance standards, Marua's adopted document is there for them to use, so. We don't run an ad campaign or something like that, or.
Yeah, at the end of our checklist, Norm, it says, to design and performance standards, so they have to check that box. So obviously they have to, look at it. Their application.
And if they have forgot about it, you'll know all about it. We're all set.
I think the idea is that it's at a minimum, right? That's what we're seeing. So there's no reason why we can't ask above and beyond, but this is a minimum. So these are things that should be started, this should be the starting point. It's all in there, That's look at it.
Yeah, they kind of went up the whole boulevard, took pictures of every building. Now we went through, I don't think I was at all the meetings, but we went through every building. What do you like about this building? What don't you like? What could they have done to make things look a little nicer? It always fell down to basically landscaping, trees, curbing, no black top up against the grass when they drive over the grass and then it turns to mud, they put a curb there. That's basically what we
Signage,
kind of a little bit on the signage,
pitches in the roof lines,
Yeah.
little ad about.
but not like crazy, it wasn't like overboard.
If I remember, it, they got less aggressive too with the front yard parking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, really?
it's less aggressive as well.
Remember before, it all had to be screened and burned and landscaped and fencing. It seemed like
They were
there.
trying to pretend there was no cars. We realize now that cars actually exist. You need to park them, but this is.
Okay, next is,
Comes to mind is the credit union where they hit that little hill on a way.
Well, that was right, that was like the first project
Oh, yeah.
with the performance standards, and it was like, okay, you need landscape screening.
Yeah, but it looked like a
We
big hill.
built, I think it-
A lot, you know.
The irony was that that wasn't a new build, it was a remodel,
Right,
they actually weren't even subject to it, but.
yeah, that was probably simple. It was a new toy.
It's like the dumpsters, we tried to tighten that up, so we don't have dumpsters any longer now. It's full of things like
I
that,
think
you know,
it's on
just
the
moving
purpose.
things around and making, giving
Put
it
nice
more.
fences around it. Well, then they put a mattress against the fence.
Yes.
Yeah, or they.
Houses and,
Yeah.
but the fences are screening it from the apartments, and it's wide open to the boulevard, right?
okay, next on our agenda is Long Road Distribution Facility, which will stay as unfinished business.
You wanted to speak on that real quick, Bob?
No, well, and that's, Dave, we're not under any, you talking with the town attorney, there is no, mandatory timeframe, mandatory action. You are well entitled to wait until the completion of the DEIS in order to review and then make your recommendation, so. I'll leave it at that.
There's a timeline on the DEIS.
Um,
There's a timeline.
well, there are completions.
incomplete. It's not being complete.
Well, the comments have been forward, in terms of tennis ball, the ball is in their court. The comments from the public hearing. And the other comment, the peer reviews and the public comments have all been codified and sent to the applicant. The applicant is now to draft a response to that or update or whatever as necessary for then the town to review. So it's in their court now to formulate responses to all the public comments.
Okay, next on the agenda is Ashbrook Court Estates. Is there something that we can do here without him? I mean,
No,
You guys had questions, 3 meetings ago, 4 meetings ago, and then they didn't make it to the last one to answer your question, so.
So,
well, it wasn't only the question, we're going to be very complete.
do we want to make so are you guys interested in putting a list together of your questions? So maybe we remember some stuff in Bible.
No, it wasn't just the question, the whole drawing is not, there were no dimensions on it.
Okay.
They have to do it.
you're talking with your Michael, Frank, Mike down here.
I'm sorry, please. No, it wasn't just questions, but drawings were complete. To the snapshot in the middle, you don't really know what the scale is.
Right, there's dimensions on the information, most of the information's on it, we talked about, the only thing you've been saber rattling about is there's no project location map, which on a sketch.
Very
well,
That was,
historically, it's there.
plus we couldn't read the drawing that came out, it's so small, that we couldn't see it.
You have a large drawing?
No, but we've got a PDF that we sent to you, and, you can, I know a lot of us do or don't use technology, you can zoom in, zoom out, you can. Even I explained, you can even page back and forth, and you actually get a really cool roll your mouse, and you can get both of them and go, what else did it change? Literally, one plan to the next. You on the same size, so the information.
I don't think it's totally. It's generally what we get from other people.
Well, in addition to that, Bob, we really didn't say what they were gonna do with the house there, we just looked at it as, I think they just said,
they're not going to do anything with that. They don't know how to
They're
get
built
there.
around it. On the property that they own, and that house remains on the property, yeah.
yeah, they have a square there. They don't show
The lot.
Yeah,
It's already-
there's a lot with a house and garage.
Yes,
They don't show anything.
It's an existing lot.
There's a garage.
they don't have to, it's not part of their project.
I'd like to see it completely surrounded by the homestead there, completely surrounds.
So I guess if I had a question that I'd like to know the answer to, it would be understand how the utilities and entrance egress to that existing homeowners within the project.
Utilities are across the frontage of it on the road. So their connection points will be there, and their driveway, which now goes directly south out of them through some weird easement. Well, you know, this board could say, hey, by the way, you're reconfiguring their driveway to. But obviously the frontage that the house can have. Yeah, you're gonna lay curb across the front of it, you're gonna put a curb cut in. You could ask where they're, to detail better where they're going to do if you wanna.
I guess,
Yeah, I don't know if it was on that map, but from my understanding on that project, when that property was for sale, because there is a right of way or whatever in between the two houses on Long
Right.
Road.
But that isn't even where the driveway is.
I-
The irony is
that's-
where the driveway is,
But I mean, that's the driveway to the house is what I'm talking, that lower house. guy.
currently there is an easement across property. Get
Right.
to it.
So when that development goes in, they have to give them access, they have to put a driveway in for him off of their new road.
Yeah, like a temporary one.
that was kind of my question.
Well, number one, there'll be a curb cut in the concrete, you know, for a driveway. There's sidewalks going in, which means they get, you know, an apron should be put in at the development. You know, when we go to construction, obviously, there's going to be requirements. These things can be reiterated by you guys as it's discussed, but yeah, those kind of things can be codified and done. Yes, I would expect them to figure out where a driveway goes with the applicant, put the curb cut in and at least put the apron and sidewalks required. Now, beyond that to the house, I don't know. That's whether you guys say, hey, you're giving them a driveway, I don't know. You know,
So I guess the other question is that, obscure easement, does that violate?
it needs to be extinguished.
Well,
They don't show the house sizes at all, or
We draw a box, that's the setbacks, and that's all we ever.
well, they don't show it.
Well, because it's there.
But they don't show.
No, no,
No, I'm saying the existing, the newly proposed lots,
Oh.
that sometimes we get a box.
Where the
that's
house
setback. Well, it's inside the setback lines, but if the setback lines, if you want to see setback line, in a plat map. We do have a sketch, and this is not a plat map, obviously, it's before they invest in paying a surveyor to prepare it.
but it says site plan, and this is not a site plan.
Right, correct, it runs
Should
certain
say
analyses.
schematic.
Yeah.
Really.
It's the
If anything, it's revised,
preliminary.
it's revised plat, it's revised plat, but it's a sketch of the revisions they want to make. Versus paying a surveyor to put one together, and then you guys go, okay, add all this stuff to it, or whatever, you know, rough draft of the proposed, which follows our code says a sketch. For preliminary plat is the instant.
Casey, did they give you a full blown? No.
No, we don't, yeah.
Not
I
that.
don't get any for, subdivision.
Under the subdivision, yeah, I mean, they literally came in with, this started very innocently with. Hey, what can we do, to make this change? The town attorney said, just send it to the town board because it's in the attorney's position, it was an administerial act that the town board could have addressed. The town board decided to send it to you guys, that's why it was, out of the blue, all of a sudden, we went into a town board meeting expecting it to be passed. And the next thing we know, it was, no, we need to send this back to everybody and get everybody's opinion on this thing, even though it's already been approved. It was literally approved for construction.
Yeah, but it's been
No,
changed.
it's revised,
Well,
significant.
that is from a legal standpoint and talking with the attorney, this was not significant. It's the same land, they did not add additional land, they did not add additional lots. The reconfiguration of those lots to him per the law could be handled in an ministerial act by the board, but the board chose to solicit the planning board's response.
Okay, I guess the next question is, does anyone want to make a motion to table again?
Yes,
Frank's gonna make a motion to table. Anyone second that motion?
I'll second.
Norm's gonna second. Any further discussion? All in favor to table?
what else could we do?
Well, we're just discussion on your motion to table.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
Well, Pete said, do you want to give him a list of stuff, or do you just want to wait till he's here?
Well, he's been before the board, has he not? Yes.
We had a public hearing.
Why
I
can't
don't
you-
think anybody understood that it was, a pre-existing subdivision, it was actually minimized. But, to everybody's point, the wetland moved, And therefore they move lots, they reconfigure it different. It is a different look. It's less, in theory, it's less invasive, because there's less front doors. But it's still difficult.
The same number of lots as originally proposed, yes. But they did it by extending it further back on the same property they own,
Yeah,
but
they
by
left
taking lots they lost and putting that in.
They
Just right.
said that they left it.
No, it's not 45 and 45. Or 48, I'm sorry, I'm confusing that. 48. They originally proposed 54 and said, no, that's more lots, that's a total redo, and they said, we won't do that.
Did the people that live in the exception area get their say? I know they came to a meeting, or we had a hearing about it, yes, they were upset.
So they talk about,
No, the people that live in the exception space.
Well, the exceptions are lots that were created without subdivision process. If they're labeled as exceptions,
Yeah.
those are lots.
It's that one house that's there.
That's the one house.
Yeah. So that lot was
Just to
created.
make sure that they're,
Well, the exception means exception to subdivision regulations did not follow the procedure to create a lot, correct? That's why it's labeled an exception.
Well, another item is on lot number 31 and 30. Yeah, a little square there, and I asked, what is that? Where's the legend? And they said, well, that's on the bigger part of the drawing. What does that mean?
All right, we got a motion on the table in a second. All in favor of the table?
Well, we might even save them. We saved the one guy $100,000 by saying he didn't have to. Last time. So it's not like we're gonna reject, we might save them.
I understand. So we have a motion and a second, we did some discussion, all in favor of the table?
Aye.
Frank is an aye, Frank is an aye, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, okay, he's tabled again. Okay, so, motion to adjourn. No move by Brad.
Dave, are you gonna stay on for the tutorial?
No,
Okay.
Just stay on for a second if you would, Dave. Go ahead, never mind.
Hold on, I'm gonna record it. Now I'm.
Okay. There was a motion to adjourn by Brad, second by Dave, all in favor?
aye.
Okay,
Okay, now it's time.